of dragons. They are called Vermithor and Silverwing.
Yes, and if only they had riders, none could stand against me.
What's happening, everybody? This is going to be my episode 5, season 2 House of the Dragon review. Panel will be coming up here in a few minutes. We've got a lot of things to talk about. First and foremost, did Christian Cole, the punk that y'all really, really love, and Aeamond mess up by bringing Meleys' head through the crowd? I think they did. We'll discuss that. And the hunt for Dragon Seeds is about to start. When all seem lost for Team Black, I think they are about to be found in King's Landing kicking ass. We'll discuss that and so much more. Life Games Lamont Tyson's review. YouTube starts right now.
I'm up early for the dealers come out. Everybody is outside till the killers come out. You ain't eating, you just act full. I'm impactful. Dozen funerals in a month. I got that pull. I will give it to niggas in all rap forms. Ignatius out right now on all platforms.
What's going on, everybody? You're in the building with the all-knowing, all-loving, all-feeling, all-seeing, all-powerful. Today I'm all everything. Sexy as hell host in this building. It's me, Lamont Tyson. House of the Dragons. It's getting good. 3 episodes left. Yeah. 6, 7, and 8. It just seems like the show started. But in any event, we're going to break down what we have so far. And if this is your first time finding me on this live stream, please subscribe to the channel. Be sure to download the podcast. Everything I put on the channel goes on the podcast. You can catch me on the X. You can catch me on TikTok here, but I'm getting ready to start a new TikTok page. And I got merch, shoplifegames.com. We got shirts in there. The Jasmine Crockett B to the 6th Power is still in there. You can go get that. I might even put me a damn Dragon Jacaerys shirt in there. I don't know. You just got to stick with me. Shout out to everybody that's watching. Happy to have you here to talk this dragon talk. Let us go ahead and begin with this right here. Early in the episode, Sir Christian Cole and Aeamond decide that they want to parade the chopped off head of Meleys through the crowd of the small folk, thinking that that would inspire the small folk to believe in their king, Aegon, who made the ultimate sacrifice to destroy the beast and that wretched whore named Rhaenyra. But guess what? I don't think it went nothing like that, ladies and gentlemen. I don't think it went nothing like that. Apparently, after dragging that head all throughout the crowd, letting them see it, instead of the people being inspired to love their king, being inspired to think that the greatest power in the world still resides in these dragons. Because of what the people are going through, they're being starved in their kingdom. This made them feel like, well, damn, we've been afraid of these dragons all these years. We thought that these dragons were gods and they can actually die. Yeah. That's what the hell happened. The dragons can actually die. And there was a great little line in there by Hugh Hammer who mentions that they're nothing more than meat. Now, are y'all paying attention to Hugh Hammer? You see that color on his hair? And how many times they've showed us Hugh Hammer? Now, remember, Hugh Hammer is the person that's responsible for building these scorpions that they shoot at the dragons. Well, Team Green has promised this man all kinds of stuff. And it does not look like he's about to get it. I mean, it's getting so bad, Hugh Hammer and his wife are thinking about leaving the town. That's what they're thinking about. Their daughter is sick. There's famine going on all up in this piece. And now that the most mightiest weapon in all the realms has been thrown down, him and his family thinking about getting the hell up out of Dodge, which I would too. I would too, because you know, when something like that happens, that means retaliation. That's what that means. That means retaliation. It's time for me to get the hell up out of Dodge. And they're not about to pay this man for this scorpion. I mean, I wouldn't assume I get paid if we can't even get food into King's Landing. Why in the hell would I think that you're going to take care of me anytime soon? And my daughter's sitting here sick, starving, hungry, sweating, ain't got on no deodorant, no nothing, just sitting in there sweating her damn ass off. And so I was kind of with the wife on that, with Hugh Hammer. Why should we believe any of this bull job? We need to get the hell up out of Dodge. And we'll talk about what happened when they did try to get the hell up out of Dodge. Moochie, check your IG. There's a link. And shout out to Shelly, who is a Game of Thrones encyclopedia. Shout out to Arlene Hicks, who knows the lore pretty well. And let's move on to the next section we're going to cover on this topic. Let's see. We got King Aegon. His little punk ass survived. Oh, look who we have here. Hold on before we talk about punk ass King Aegon. It's Moochie. What's going on, Moochie?
They messed up with this, Lamont. They messed up with it.
What they do, Moochie? What they do?
They messed up by inviting them there. I mean, by bringing back that head. That was the biggest mistake. Now they look vulnerable. Now they look even more like villains with all of that was going on. Everything that Otto set up, even though it was messed up right away, now it's totally like it's like it didn't even happen.
Exactly. Moochie, think about what the common folk then had to see. The blood and cheese thing. Then they left the rotting bodies out there hanging.
And I think it was I think it was Blood's poor little dog. He stayed down there the whole that dog.
Yeah, but the dog got a chance to escape, Moochie. The dog stayed right by the body and escaped on out that door with the body.
He like, I'm out of here.
Shout out to the dog, ladies and gentlemen. The dog made it. But Moochie, was you surprised to find King Aegon survived, but his dragon Meleys died? Excuse me, Sunfire. I'm sorry. Sunfire died.
It was a young dragon, though.
Yeah.
It was a young dragon, and look at what his brother did. Yo, he don't care. You made me walk out of brothel and walk back to the castle, walk through King's Landing, butt naked, with just my Franks and beans showing.
Well, Moochie, he didn't have to do that. He could have put his damn clothes on, Moochie. He ain't had to walk.
He was like, I'm getting him. I'm going to walk away like this now quietly and watch what happens later.
Well, here's the deal, ladies and gentlemen, on this little battle. The producers are saying that Aeamond never intended to kill his brother. He wanted Meleys to kill the brother. Then he was going to swoop in and kill Meleys and Rhaenys. But it didn't go down like that. And so when he Jacaerys them both, he wasn't intending to kill his brother. His brother just happened to be in the fire of the battle. Moochie, you sound like you don't believe Aeamond. What are you saying, Moochie?
No, I don't. This is like the worst sibling rivalry where he like, look, I ain't gonna take you out. I'm gonna just burn you up a little bit. I'm just saying. Like, wow. I'm just gonna have you to a crisp.
Well,
now you look like your daddy.
Can we say Dragon Lives Matters, Moochie? Oh, Sunfire. Sunfire was innocent in all this. He just had a dumb rider, a dumb dragon seed, get on that dragon back and take him into battle. How many times do you think Aegon rode this dragon before he go flying out there in the battle like he about to beat up somebody?
I don't think he flew that many times. Remember, he was hanging out in them brothels most of the time and hanging out with his his knights that he hang out with, because those was basically his drinking buddies.
Exactly. I mean, they really, House of the Dragon did a good job of portraying him as a young, dumb teen. A very good job of making that portrayal. And that ultimately is what got his butt up in this bed, really, because if he would have just done what his mama said, which is nothing, he wouldn't be laying in this bed hopped up on the milk of the damn poppy. Okay? Hopped up on milk of the poppy. It's like his mama done took the abortion drink, now he on the milk of the poppy. My question to you, Moochie, do you think he'll be talking by next episode?
I know he said mama at the end, so yeah, he's gonna be talking.
Exactly. Yep. And it just makes me wonder, what are they gonna do with Aemond? Because for my people that know the lore very well, if I'm not mistaken, Sunfire didn't die this early on. Sunfire died later on in the books, but now Sunfire is dead, and there were so many stories attached to Sunfire. So that's got me thinking, Moochie, since they deviated from the book like this, maybe they are going to involve somebody else's dragon a little more. May we see Rhaena and Sheep Stealer a little more. May we see Vale and her dragon a little more. I'm curious to see where they go after this, since Sunfire supposedly had such a big type in the books. I'm curious to see where they go.
Well, remember, they're hunting for those dragon seeds to see if they are able and capable to ride dragons. So they looking for dragon riders now. And now that Green has messed up so much with the person that you was just talking about, with his sick daughter, them not getting food, the whole town is not getting food, because you know Corlys is locking that up because he's in charge of the ships. So he making sure they don't get no food. Did you see the food going bad and them starting to fight over food and stuff? Yeah. So it is really going to get bad, and I think he's going to see his exit out of King's Landing. And not only that, you still got the green coats. Those is Daemon's people. He still was taking care of them all of that time. Even though he not with them no more, they still look to him as his leader. So don't sleep on that. He just got to get out of that doggone castle, because he having too many weird dreams and visions, and I think he being poisoned.
I think he's been sprinkled magic on him from whatever her name is. I'll be butchering her name. Alice.
He's taking everything from her. He's seeing his wife. He's seeing his mother.
Right, seeing the wife, the mom, his kids. And even though he's seeing all that stuff, Moochie, Daemon is still being selfish. Like when they had the scene where he was talking about taking King's Landing and the crown, the witch was basically telling him, look, it's Rhaenyra that's the queen. He's like, no, Rhaenyra's going to be at my side. Something to that effect. So even though he's having these visions that's trying to tell him to do better, he's not heeding any of that, Moochie, which makes me think that when we get the battle of Daemon and Aemond, I think Daemon going to get that ass kicked.
I think so too. She already said it. He already had a little vision of it, where she was saying that, you remember when he woke up, remember the first vision he had, and he ended up in the courtyard. She told him he wasn't gonna make it out of there alive.
Exactly. Yeah, she was at the God's tree when they had that talk. Now, Moochie, now that Aegon, basically he can't rule nothing. He can't rule nothing but the four corners of his bed right now. So they got to insert someone else. And of course, Alicent felt like, hey, I should do it. I'm next in line, blah, blah, blah. But have we learned so many times on this show, they ain't got no love for the women ruling a damn thing.
Heck no.
Team Green was not having none of it. They went around that table for regency while Aegon is in bed. And basically everybody said, we want this dude right here to be the leader. How did you feel about that, Moochie? I think that Alicent, if Alicent would have gotten this job, took that regency position, she might would have let cooler heads prevail. But
I believe she would have brought her father back in. But it's like she messed this up when they had that when her and Rhaenyra had that secret meeting.
Right.
They could have put a plan into motion. Well, and she didn't want to. She knew that she didn't have control over everything because her son was out of control. And she thought she was going to be able to reel him back in. Unfortunately, we saw what happened with that.
Well, when they all decided that Aemond would be the best fit, I felt like he did make one good decision in cutting down the people that his damn brother left out there hanging. Like, for what, dude? He cut it. But at the same time, he ordered the gold cloaks to go out there, shut down the building. Nobody in, nobody out, Moochie. I was like, you done shot yourself in both feet. First, you brought the dragon. Now you locking the people in like they're animals in a cage. You done shot both feet. Bam, bam. You asking for a revolt. And
you
then on top of that,
them in and they have no food. The food is going bad.
No food. And even when a caged animal who's fearful, when he's hungry, all of a sudden that MF will get the kind of courage that a lion has. He'll take on anybody. And that's what the small folk is going to do. And trust me, ladies and gentlemen, I do believe Hugh Hammer will be on a dragon. I do. Let's talk about Rhaenyra. Uh-oh, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, boy. It's about to be a Jacaerys session, ladies and gentlemen. Coming to this stage. We don't get to see her soulful singing voice face today. But my cousin, Lex the Targaryen, is in the building. What's going on, Lex?
What's happening, y'all? Y'all will definitely see my face in about 7 minutes. I looked at the time. I said, oh, God. Oh, the 7.
Oh, Lord. Well, to the gods be the glory that the true Valerian has arrived on the scene, Lex the Targaryen. And I'm going to kick this next one to you, Lex. We had this Black Council meeting. And similar to what's going on with the Greens, they just straight up disrespecting Rhaenyra as their queen, talking about her being in battle and how much battle experience she's got and all this bull jive, when Rhaenyra had to remind them that nobody has any battle experience because of the peace that was brought forth by her father and his father. Speak on it, Lex. Jacaerys, this audience.
Yeah, I think they not too much on my girl, Big Ray Ray. I don't like that. I feel like they also need to keep in mind it is her first time. She is still in shock. Like, nobody's realizing how much Rhaenyra is going through. Dead daddy, dead daughter, dead son, dead cousin, like back to back to back. Like that meme that's like club, home, here. Like that's all she been doing. So you gotta give her a second. And this is really Damon's cup of tea. But he's somewhere having visions about sleeping with his mama. So it's a lot going on.
I know that's right.
That was Moochie, how you feel about this? This Black Council is out of order. I mean, just look, like, don't pretend like she's the queen. Treat her like she is.
That guy, the one that's doing the most defiant, you know how Crispin Cold is with that sword off with his head? He needs to go. He needs to go now, because if he don't, I feel like he's gonna do something. He's gonna either team up with Daemon, because Daemon seemed like he waiting for everything to go down, where by the time he do come to help us, it's gonna be too late, and he gonna take charge. And that's what it seemed like he trying to do. That's my opinion.
What you think about that, Lex?
I agree. It's just a lot going on. Like, I agree. And as far as like Daemon, we don't know what's going on. And the guy, oh, forgive me, I can't think of his name, but whoever he is, he's very opinionated. But at the same time, I do feel like he is loyal, because if not, he could have been like, F it and dipped already. I think they're just frustrated because they kind of don't, like, if they were having this conversation with this temperament with a man, it would just be men, you know, going back and forth about war. But it's more sensitive because Rhaenyra is a girl, but then it's a double-edged sword, because it's like, okay, well, we fighting for equality, so they should be able to talk to her like they speak to Daemon, because in actuality, the other two queens, you know, the original Rhaenys you know, she wasn't taking no shorts off
No.
nobody. Like, she was tougher than Aegon. She was the only person to be documented to cut Aegon with Black Sister, and ain't think about it twice. You know what I'm saying? So Rhaenyra kind of got to put, you know, a sock in her panties and kind of puff her chest out like a boy. And the guys need to just slightly be a bit more patient with her, because this is all new to her. We don't have time for patience because it's war. You know what I mean? And everybody on the council, their life is on the line too. Because if she fell, we're going to be killed as traitors. You know what I mean? So it's a real sticky situation.
Yeah, that's well said. And at the same time, they're seeing that they keep taking all these L's, and everybody's kind of heartbroken over the queen that should have been Rhaenys. Everybody was kind of in their feelings about that, and it looks like they're just being cornered from every angle. So I can understand why, you know, them butt cheeks is starting to get a little tight and everything like that. I can get it. I get it. But at the same time, stay a uniform body with this woman and be, and like Lex said, we end war, but be patient in her decisions, because she seemingly has done everything she can not to go to war, because you've got the nuclear bombs called the dragon. So well said. And now this should be pretty funny. Moochie, I'll let you go here with this one first. So my main man Jace is having a discussion with Baylor. He's frustrated about Queen Rhaenys. Baylor's frustrated, but he's thinking about sneaking to go get Daemon, and then he comes up with a great idea to go over here to the twins at the Freys, see if he can make a deal with them so that he can get the Starks crew to have a quicker access to get down here, use their military and all that stuff. How did you enjoy this, man? To see these twins was pretty funny, and it always strikes me, Moochie. Everybody know we in war, but these MFs just be too peaceful. I mean, they sitting up there eating fucking throwback days Snickers bars and shit, like ain't nothing really happening, chilling. Talk to me about these two, Moochie.
Well, you know they got a history with this bridge. Remember, in the future in Game of Thrones,
right?
This is the castle that the Red Wedding came from. So
yep. The phrase.
I'm worried about him because I'm getting deja vu with Robb Stark, y'all. And you know,
Lord.
I was so mad when they took him out. So now I'm worried about this guy.
You worried about Jace, Moochie?
Yes. I'm like, oh no, why you go there by yourself?
Oh, by the way, shout out to Shelley Howard, man. The guy that we were speaking about is Sir Alfred. Shout out to that sister. She need to get on this panel one day because she is well versed in this show. Shout out to my sis Shelley. What did you think about the conversation between Jace and Baylor, and Jace actually going behind his mama's back, kind of, sort of, sneaking over here to the Freys, making a deal for Harrenhal? Talk to me, Lex.
It was a perfect circle because, you know, fast forward with the jump back. That's why Rhaenyra wasn't yelling or anything, because keep in mind, this is what she did season 1.
Yep.
He saw a better option. He took off without permission. She ain't trip out like Viserys. She was just like, you my heir and I ain't tell you leave. You know what I mean? So I thought this was genius, and shout out to the casting, because the actor who plays Jace literally has perfect features from the guy who was casted as Harwin Strong and Beyonce. Like, they casted the hell out of Jace. Like, he literally looks like both. So I love seeing it. I agree with Moochie. It didn't really remind me of Rob necessarily, but it did remind me of John. He has very striking similarities and behavioral traits to Snow. I just want y'all to keep an eye on that. Because what the Stannis tells Snow, your honorability is you honorable like your father, and that's not a compliment, because honor is what got Ned head chopped off. You know what I mean? I'm nervous for Jace, you know, but other than that, I thought it was genius. Like, he rolls in there, like, because he's protecting his right to the throne, because after Rhaenyra, there is him. So he pulled up like the prince that should be. Like, I loved every bit of it, talking big talk. It was like, listen, you want all of this? That's cool. I heard you, but you're going to bend that knee. to my mama.
Yeah.
Like, I loved it. I'm like, okay, Big Jace. And it had his dragon in the back. I'm like, all right, little Rhaenyra, because that is definitely something Rhaenyra would have done. And I do love that they're giving these actual traits to these characters. You know what I mean? So I enjoyed it. However, I did think it was quite foolish for
Uh-oh.
the Lord and Lady of the twins, y'all sitting on top of something that's exposed, and you got Vagar roaming the skies. You
Thank
ain't
you.
catch me outside my castle. Because at the end of the day, you hit the top, I got time to shimmy Jimmy, go underground, do something.
Thank you. Thank you, Lex. Thank you. Thank you. I mean, just all day facts, Lex. All day facts. Now, Lex, let me say this before we go forth. Because I'm a big fan of this particular follower of this channel. Shelley Howard, ladies and gentlemen, another encyclopedia on this lore, said that there's a great chance she might be with us next week. Okay. Double Dracaerys. You feel me? Like double Dracaerys. Now, Lex, do you feel like we can trust these phrases?
No, you can't trust nobody, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
It's Game of Thrones. We learned that. Like, we learned that in the future, and now we're going back in the past. So history does nothing but repeat itself. So everything grimy that we saw in Game of Thrones, I'm honestly expecting it to be 10 times worse because we going back to the originator. So no, you can't trust them. You can't trust nobody except Rhaenyra and Daemon. I mean, sorry. Whoa.
You can't even trust Daemon.
Whoa. I said Daemon. I didn't mean to say that. You can't trust nobody. Besides, I feel like you can't trust nobody besides Rhaenyra and Vale. That's what I meant to say.
And not only that, did you hear how they was talking about Aegon and his dragon? And he like he don't got a dragon too. Like I got one too. He spit fire too. Like where did I don't know. It just seemed like they was not intimidated by him at all. They see him as a boy.
Did you see how he had to check him?
I'm glad he did.
You see how he had to check him. He checked that ass, let them know there's a dragon right across this bridge, bitch. Mm-hmm. Say something sweet, and I'm gonna say Dracaerys. I love them giving Jace more of a role in this scene. I love the scenes with him and Vale. I love him being more involved. I just worry they setting us up for Jace to be like this on this hero's journey. And Game of Thrones is one of the most epic shows that'll take out a hero like it ain't nothing.
I know. That's why when I see him, I think about Robb Stark. That's what got me. That's why I'm worried about his safety.
Okay. Post your comments, y'all. Let us know what you think. Lex, I'm going to give this crazy one to you. It's not even really crazy because this is of this man's behavior. So Daemon is trying to help the Blackwoods get the Brackens to succumb to his forces. All right. And these Brackens are as stubborn as hell. The Bracken Lord said, I'm not doing nothing. I ain't been in no fucking knees. Just burn me. Turned his back to Daemon in utter disrespect. And this was one of the most iconic scenes that they had on this year. It looks like we about to get a Dracaerys. And instead of a Dracaerys Lex, Daemon went and done something I feel like was a miscue. He put a bug in the ear to the Blackwood folks. Basically, go do a blood and cheese and treat the Bracken's families just dirty, do horrible things to them. Talk to me about this, Lex, and how did you think this played out?
I still don't know about these events, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because I feel like we really don't know. I feel like this happened. Like I'm like a 80-20. I feel like this happened, but then we don't know because Daemon's so damn groggy and in and out. All of this could be a werewolf dream. We don't know nothing because that's just real unnature of him to not Dracaerys somebody or not this Daemon we talking about. You know what I mean?
That's what I
mistempered. You know, so I don't know. However, if this is real, Daemon is too unpredictable. And I love him to death, but Daemon is very unpredictable. And it's just one of those things. You know what I mean? Where if like you keep him alive, this is what you're gonna have to deal with. And there's no way around it. Like this is Daemon.
Jump on in there, Mooch.
I think with this, they're both sides is pissing the people off because the inner fighting between them two is making it crazy. But between Daemon, I feel like he's losing his mind right now. He is going to be a loose cannon and unpredictable. And is he going to get power hungry? Those are my worries with that.
Okay. Yeah. His quest for power, I think, is driving him crazy. But it's no different from Aemond wanting to have power. Aemond wants to be known as the greatest warrior in the world. I don't really think Aemond cares that much about the throne as much as he just want to be respected. The thing he felt like he didn't get as a child. And he wants to have this great battle with Daemon and beat his ass and just say he's the greatest warrior. Whereas Daemon wants that throne. And Daemon wants to be respected too. And it's funny to me that he keeps trying to tell them to call him their king.
He was bugging. They wanted to go by the dragons. They was like, all right. And he couldn't, but he was like, they really said they was ready to do it. And they said such disrespectful things about Rhaenyra.
Yeah, man. Post your comments, y'all. Moochie, I'm gonna let Lex jump in on this one because this one is gonna be.
She might break it down much better than me.
Well, I'm not gonna say that. I'm just gonna say that me and you, we don't know the backstories on this stuff as good as she does. And
that's why we need her. That's why we need her.
And so she's probably gonna be able to give some insight to this particular character right here. Jane Eyre, the lesbian, ladies and gentlemen, which just happens to be one of the reasons why she is down with Team Black, because Rhaenyra don't care if you're lesbian or not. Whereas the Greens have this kind of religious hierarchy, this sect that they don't want. And she's in a castle that the only way you can penetrate this castle, Moochie, and I ain't talking about with a condom, I'm talking about from the air with a dragon, is the only way you penetrate this castle. And Rhaena,
you remember what castle that is, right?
Oh, I remember what castle it is. Oh, I definitely remember. And Rhaena is there with a little dragon. Jane is not pleased about it. And she let Rhaena have a little bug in the ear. Now, Lex, tell us about Jane, but also mention this. Do you think that all this talk about, we are defenseless in the air is leading up to Rhaena wind up getting Sheep Stealer to help protect this castle?
I can't answer that.
Oh, Lord.
What?
Yeah. As much as y'all would like me to answer that, if I answer that, I'm going to answer it, if that makes sense what I'm saying. So
it's going to be a spoiler. Okay.
Yeah, I can't.
I got you.
Offline, if y'all want to know, I got you, but I can't answer that one. I ain't going to do the people like that.
Okay. Well, okay, fine. Well, tell us about Jane Eyre, Lex, and what we can expect out of the character without spoilers, like her temperament. Can we trust her? Tell us a little bit about Jane Eyre.
Honestly, I don't really remember her too much. I know that's Rhaenyra's cousin. I know that's the Lady of the Vale, but I really don't remember too much of her part in it. So, I mean, she might have had like minor importance, but it wasn't important enough for me to actually remember.
Gotcha. All right. Well, what did you think about this Moochie and this exchange she had with Rhaena and just saying they need defense from the sky and talking about her dragons? And me not knowing the story, Moochie, I do think Rhaena is going to get Sheep Stealer and defend this castle. And I don't know the story, but she's going to be on a dragon. They just kept talking about defending the air too much for me. So I think that she is going to hop on the dragon. What you think, Moochie?
I can't wait till she hop on a dragon. And this one was talking so much mess where she mad because she just got eggs. First of all, you got to raise them up. So, and you don't even know if you're going to be able to get somebody to actually ride this dragon. So, I don't understand how people want to start off running and you got to walk first.
Moochie, tell the people what castle this is.
That's I forgot the name of the castle, but that's the castle with the moon roof. That's Stark's Carolyn's sister. That and then she had the son that was grown. Basically, you know, she was feeding him breast milk, and he looked like he was about 15.
Oh Lord,
that's this castle. and remember, Littlefinger did a whole number on that, and the moon roof. Remember, I want to watch people fly.
To the moon door.
Ladies and gentlemen, what is it about white filmmakers and having old ass human beings sucking on the teat of their mothers? We see it on Game of Thrones. Now we're seeing it on The Boys with Homelander.
Oh,
is that something amusing? I don't see a whole lot of that in Black creative content. Maybe we should put it in there because it's obviously working. People keep on acting like it's the most shocking thing that ever happened in America.
We even saw it in Liar
Liar. I have a question for y'all.
Go for it.
How are you gonna feel if if Rhaena never gets a dragon? How would you feel?
Go Moochie.
I don't think it's right because her dragon was taken from her. You know, they already took Aeamond already took the mother's dragon when they was kids. And it's like they treat her kind of different. Like I know she feels like what she's doing is not important, but it is.
And that was going to be my point, Lex. I still feel like whether she gets a dragon or not, she is playing an important role in fostering the future. So as much as I wouldn't mind seeing her get it, I don't mind if she doesn't. What you got in response, Lex?
I can't respond, but I do have one last follow-up question. So if indeed she doesn't get a dragon, would that mean that she's more sea and salt opposed to fire and blood?
Yeah, okay.
That's a good one because now Lex, you be getting on that pony. I'm gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about
Khaleesi,
Lord. Wait a minute. Is your Dothraki? Is your Valerian? What golly? We're gonna talk about that.
I'm Dothraki by marriage twice removed.
Ladies and gentlemen, that question she posed, we're going to hold it for a later conversation because I do think it's going to play a role, definitely. She hit the nail on the head. Moochie, I'll come to you with this one right here. So I think Rhaenyra has got one of the most wisest people in her ear giving her counsel. And this is Misaria telling her that there are many ways to fight a war. And next thing we know, we see Elinda Massey in King's Landing orchestrating the plan. Moochie, a lot of people thought this was Melisandre from the original. It's not. It's Elinda Massey. What did you think about the counsel given to Rhaenyra by Misaria and then Elinda Massey popping up in King's Landing, sneaking in to start recruiting dragon seeds?
I like the fact that she's going this route.
Okay.
Because they not expecting that. Everybody looking up. Everybody looking up, looking for the dragons. So this is like this. I just want her to remain to be trustworthy though, because that's what you got to worry about with her.
Yeah.
But she seems like she's all right for now.
So Moochie, you saying you like this kind of boots on the ground strategy, you know?
Yes.
Yeah. And possibly infiltrating the small folk type of deal. I like this.
Look, we already know that they closed the gates. So it's already whispering going on.
You know
they took out the dragon. Oh, the king. Who's in charge of us now? All of that.
Oh, Moochie, the real
whispering and murmuring now.
The real whispering going on, Moochie, is when the hell am I going to get my next meal?
Exactly.
That's what
food is spoiled.
Yep. The food is spoiled. Now, we just lost Lex the Targaryen.
Uh-oh.
Hopefully, she'll get back in here real quick. Moochie, I'm with you on this. I love this character, but I am worried about her. I am worried about what happens if her life is threatened. What if she gets caught up in a situation, Moochie, where she's got to choose between Rhaenyra and Daemon?
That's what I'm worried about, because she's all right till now, and now, but she also knows how Daemon get down. They already know. Look, we don't know when he's coming back.
Right.
This is just what he does. So yeah, but I think that's what brought their bond closer, with knowing how Daemon is.
Exactly. And I'm gonna make a bold prediction, and I'm gonna say if it comes down, she's got to choose between Rhaenyra and Daemon. I'm gonna say she's gonna choose Team Rhaenyra if it comes down to it. I'm gonna say she's gonna hold.
I hope she do, because I think he's gonna come back and they're gonna see he out of his mind.
Exactly. He's gonna come back. Now let's talk about this right here. This is the horse Lex the Targaryen jumped on, and we didn't get a chance to finish. So basically, Vale and my guy Corlys is discussing what's happened with his wife and the legacy of his lineage. And Vale is able to convince this man to become the hand of the king to Rhaenyra. And then he tries to pass down his heirship to her. And I loved her line. She said that needs to go to somebody who's of salt and sea. I'm of blood and fire. Then she turned around and walked the hell off like, I'm going to get on that damn dragon. You feel me? I love
that.
Talk about
I love her.
Yeah,
I love her. And his wife Rhaenyra, she gave a foreshadowing moment. One of them, I think the bald-headed one is gonna be with the sea, because he rescued him and all that. But that one with the locks, he gonna be flying a dragon. He already caught the bug with that. You could see how he's intrigued by looking in the sky at them.
Yep, exactly. And Lex posed the question to us about Rhaena. Will she be salt and sea and possibly could be one of the heir? She's back. Oh, I can't wait to hear this. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, not only did she come back, she really came back. Look who's coming to the stage now. Now y'all get to see all that. Talk to us, Lex, about this conversation with Vale and that line she delivered about it. The air needs to be of salt and sea. I am of blood and fire. Damn.
Whew. I agree. I thought it was beautiful. Vale carried this episode. Let's be honest. Vale and Jace carried this whole episode. Like every scene that was the best scene typically had them in it. So I was real proud of her. I love how they're giving the girls more camera time this season. I'm just very happy. 10 out of 10. You go, Vale.
Yeah, she did the thing, man. She did the thing. I can't wait to see them all in battle. I cannot wait. It's gonna be a good one. And now I'll throw this to you, Lex. The River Lords decided to come and pay Daemon a visit at Harrenhal at the Wolf's Hour. Hour of the Wolf. Daemon halfway sleep in one of them crazy ass dreams, and they in here basically mad as hell. I'm assuming they mad because of what he did between the Brackens and Blackwoods. And he comes up and they basically say, we ain't supporting your punk ass. Talk to me, Lex.
Yeah, I need season 1 Daemon to wake up, because I would have had all of their heads hanging on spikes prior to nightfall. Prior to sunrise. You're not about to wake me up in the middle of the night and talk crazy to me. I would have literally hung every single last one of them. Try me. And the next time, I'll have your whole family devoured by Caraxes. Bend in there and shut up. Because at a certain point, you got to realize it's not a presidency. It's not a democracy where it's like, yeah, let's vote for, man, I am the king or I am the queen. You're going to bend the knee or you're going to die. This is why I never had a problem with what Daenerys did, because we're not going to act like war is friendly. We're not going to act like war is not bloody. Slippery slope. You let one pebble start rolling down that hill without maintenance. Out of nowhere, you got a landslide. You're not going to play with me. I don't know where Daemon at, but he need to wake up, take his head off that werewood and wake up. Because that disrespect wouldn't have went unchecked if I was ruling. You know what I'm saying? So he need to tighten up.
Moochie, what you got? And I'll say this as we go back to the Game of Thrones references. You are absolutely right, Lex. Daenerys had to do what she had to do, which is exactly why Jon Snow had to do what he had to do to her ass. Floor is yours, Moochie.
I like him.
I feel like he needs to get out of this castle. The whole time, every time they show him in this castle while I'm watching this, I'm getting pissed off because I feel like he's wasting time here. He's wasting valuable time. Then it makes me think, is he doing it intentionally? These people are not fazed by him. And he should have showed some sort of like, no, this is what you're going to do, or this is how it's going to happen.
I think I agree with y'all, even though I'm giving Lex a hard time about her girl. I do agree. In this instant, they making a mockery of him. Like his name's supposed to reign across so many lands as like the greatest warrior ever. One of them.
This is the one that took out the crab. What was it? The crab that he took out last
crab
season?
feeder, Solo Dolo. We thought that man was crazy last season. Daemon pulled up Solo, but even just connecting it back to Game of Thrones, like, do y'all remember right before Jon Snow would like fight, he would kind of just like had this like warped out look, and he would just kind of stare off into nothingness and then power up out of nowhere?
Yeah,
that got to be a Targaryen thing, because Daemon did it that battle before he took flight. Rhaenyra gonna end up doing it, because you see her. I just can't wait for Rhaenyra to pop up and show out. Like I can't, because it's coming, because they keep playing with her. They keep playing with her, and I cannot wait for her to unleash the true dragon. But as far as them, absolutely not. That wouldn't have went unchecked. Like, what? It's because Daemon is where he at. It's not because he's, in his normal mindset. Because normal Daemon, absolutely not. This is I'll have your tongue, no, I'll have your head type Daemon. Like, he's not well. So for him to be behaving so normal, it's disturbing. I don't like it. Free Daemon.
Free Daemon, poor fella. Okay. Last thing we'll discuss, then we'll just take like some random questions and comments from the amazing audience. Well, they finally had the discussion. There are dragon riders out there, and we've got the numbers. And if we can get some seeds on them back of them dragons, we can actually do some damage. Moochie, how did you feel about the way the show went off? Did this leave you thirsty for more, or did you feel like the Blacks is finally getting their game together and they're going to get some get back?
I'm waiting for them to get some get back. I'm hoping that they get some get back. When I saw this scene, I was like, all right, now they're getting on board and stuff. And I want to know who their riders are going to be, because everybody's not going to make it out of this.
Let's speak on it.
This is where it starts, boys and girls. I see the comments and things like that. Like, yeah, I don't think they will be able to write Nettles out. If y'all don't know who Nettles is, I'm gonna just leave that alone. But to those of you, they can't. The story is not going to chronologically make sense. If they do that, that will probably be the only thing that makes me mad enough to stop watching the show and just like read the synopsis every week, because it's literally like taking, I don't know, Superman cape off. Like, you can't do that. So that's what I'm waiting for. But Jace, once again, this just proves why Rhaenyra's line deserved to be on the throne. Like, if it's a problem, what is the solution? And Jace is coming from a quote unquote bastard. He really can't be a bastard because his mother is the heir, not vice versa. So he's not a bastard. Every time somebody want to say that, it doesn't work like that. But he does know he's not fully Valyrian. So it works out perfectly. And I thought that was a genius idea from Jace. We didn't know the idea came from Jace. We just knew, what they were going to do. And next week is probably the episode I'm most excited for, because now we get to see, the riderless dragons, like who's going to be able to claim what, who can do what. Couple people may get eaten. I live for these moments, so I'm excited about that. But I do want to put a little bug in y'all ear real quick.
Okay.
There is a character from Game of Thrones that could show up in House of the Dragons.
Oh, I already know that.
Okay.
Yep.
There is a character from Game of Thrones that can appear in House of the Dragon. And I know y'all sitting there like who, what, when, where, why, and how. You feel me? Who is it?
Okay, go ahead, say it, Moochie. You up there like Saved by the
Go
Bell.
ahead and tell the
Look,
people. Who is it?
it's the witch, y'all. Remember, she like mad old.
Melisandre.
Yes, Melisandre is mad old. She was 400 years old in Game of Thrones, so she only got to be half her age now. So how strong is she?
Exactly. So if we could see Melisandre, did Melisandre play any parts in the war to come? She know a lot about the White Walkers, clearly. What if Melisandre was like a little girl at the time of the dragon? There is also another person that could come up. This person died during the Game of Thrones time. However, they could be alive now. Let me give y'all my theory here. So if it happens, you heard it first.
Okay.
Do y'all remember when Bran was taken to the cave? And he was met by the children of the forest?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. The main girl that was talking, her name was what? Leaf, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're all expecting Nettles. Leaf, Nettles. Leaf said she was around at the time of the dragon. Leaf, Nettles. Is she a child of the forest? Because she was just simply described as a bronze common girl. But you know who, if you know, I'm still being discreet, fell in love with her. How was this possible? How was she able to, you feel what I'm saying? So I personally think Leaf is Nettles.
So and what, Leaf is a black girl too?
No, Leaf is a child of the forest, but the children of the forest can take forms.
Right.
Just like faceless men can change their faces.
Yeah, just
but
like
how
Melisandre
often
and
you
all
have
of
a
that
little
too.
girl named Nettles, Leaf. These are parts of the earth. This is also a nettle is something you could find in the forest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Like I could be wrong, but it's not so far fetched that it's like now Lex. So I don't know. We in for a surprise, but yeah, if they write my girl Nettles out, we boycotting. As black people, we boycotting. Where Nettles at? Release Nettles.
Oh Lord, release the Nettles cut, HBO. Okay,
I think
release
it is gonna be
Nettles
released just to give it more excitement. This episode that's coming is longer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
I'm slightly nervous though, because it is a rumor. I don't know how true it is. That actually, you know what? I can't say that until the character get introduced. We got a lot for y'all next week. I promise. I'll pinky promise, because I almost slipped up and said something.
Oh Lord. Well, having said that, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to prepare to get out of here before something accidentally leak out the way old folks be talking about. They think it's gas and something runs out their body. We're going to get out of here before we have one of them kind of leaks, ladies and gentlemen. But before we go, let's see what the ladies have in store for us coming soon. Lex, Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. Y'all will find out next week. Y'all, that's all I'm gonna say. Y'all, we have to keep y'all in mystery. Y'all will find out next week. Moochie, what's coming on your channel that we can look forward to over the next couple of days?
Okay, so tonight we're doing Mayor Kingstown. We'll be talking about that. Monday we did talk about Divorced in the Black, the Tyler Perry's new movie. And I have 2 theory videos out. I have a theory video with the Shy, so please check that out. And I also have installment 3 of Ghost tough love plan for Tariq. So I'm gonna still press on with that, even though we seeing in the news that he might not be coming back.
Okay. And Lex, what do you have going on? I've seen some things that Lex might be doing. Y'all hold your horses for this one.
Well. Hopefully all good things in the works. But the album comes out next Wednesday, the 24th. So part one, it'll be broken into 3 parts. So part one comes out on the 24th. And I just want to give a special shout out to Teddy McCrae, okay, because he's a supporter of the Life Games channel. And I just did the festival, and he was actually at the festival. And he's like, wait, I know her from the Lamont channel. I know you. And messaged me. It was the sweetest thing. So everybody that came out to the festival, thank you so much. And yes, I actually am very sweet in person. I'm only in dragon mode when I'm on the channel. So no, I don't bite all the time.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I do have audiences all over the place. So always be nice when you see my people out there on these streets, because they are all very, very nice when you see them in person. I'll get back up here on some politics. I might start kicking out some power theory videos. I'm just being honest with y'all. There's a lot going on in my life, positive things, not bad things. So sometimes I'm not able to get up here as much as I would like. But however, stick with your boy. Sooner or later, y'all going to be reviewing my movies and TV shows. So just hang tight, and we're going to keep this thing going. And I always want to get you guys insight. Be sure to follow us all. We've got links in the video description. Be sure to like the video. Check us out on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. And until that next Sexy as Hell video, keep your notifications on, because I don't know when I'm coming. I might just pop up. So just keep them on, and we'll see you.